If it comes out this year, and that's a big if, one of the most controversial movies of 2025 could be Michael, director Antoine Fuqua's high-profile biopic about the life of Michael Jackson. Despite glowing reactions to early footage, the film's release has reportedly been delayed due to legal complications. Lionsgate, the studio behind the film, had initially hoped it would be a major award season contender and a box office juggernaut. Now, they're allegedly considering splitting the film in two, with only the first half potentially hitting theaters this year, or possibly not until 2026. So what exactly is going on with Michael? Here's what we know so far.
You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Michael comes from producer Graham King, the man behind Bohemian Rhapsody, the Freddie Mercury biopic that grossed nearly $1 billion worldwide and took home several Oscars. Like that film, Michael has endured its share of pre-release hurdles. While production reportedly went smoothly, the controversy around Jackson's personal life and how the film portrays it has become a sticking point. That's hardly surprising. Jackson remains one of the most polarizing figures in pop culture, revered for his musical genius and criticized for decades of troubling allegations. Fuqua, best known for Training Day and the Equalizer trilogy, directs from a script by Oscar nominee John Logan. According to early reports, the film was intended to span Jackson's entire career, from his early days as the breakout star of the Jackson 5 through the heights of Thriller, Bad and Dangerous, and into the more complicated final decades of his life. But the exact timeline remains vague.
So let me hold you tight and share up, get up, better.
What we do know is that two actors were cast to play Michael Jackson: Juliano Cruz-Valdi as young Michael and Jafar Jackson, the pop star's real-life nephew, as the adult version. The latter casting raised some eyebrows due to the family connection, but Lionsgate seemed confident in the choice, going so far as to screen an early sizzle reel at CinemaCon 2024. According to those in attendance, Jafar's physical resemblance and on-screen charisma left a strong impression. The supporting cast is equally stacked. Nia Long plays Michael's mother, Katherine Jackson, while two-time Oscar nominee Coleman Domingo takes on the role of his father, Joe Jackson. The elder Jackson's legacy is complicated. He was notoriously abusive, but also driven and instrumental in launching the Jackson 5 into superstardom. Miles Teller plays John Branca, the longtime music attorney and current co-executor of Jackson's estate, and one of the film's producers. Meanwhile, Derek Luke has been cast as famed attorney Johnny Cochran, who defended Jackson against the 1993 child molestation allegations, an inclusion that signals just how far into Jackson's life the film intends to go. And it's that section of the story that reportedly led to the current legal complications. According to multiple sources, the settlement between the filmmakers and the Jackson estate, which granted access to his music and image, explicitly forbids dramatizing the 1993 allegations or the more salacious aspects of Jackson's legal battles. Insiders claim that certain scenes may have crossed a line, triggering behind-the-scenes conflict and ultimately a massive 22-day round of reshoots earlier this year. However, all parties involved here publicly deny that the reshoots were related to legal trouble.
You're thinking about my baby, it don't matter if you're black or
So what's the official reason for the reshoots? Lionsgate's line is that the film was simply too big for a single installment. The original cut reportedly ran over 3 hours, and the studio is said to be so bullish on its commercial potential that they decided to expand Michael into 2 films. The first installment would focus on Jackson's childhood and his early solo career, likely ending with the release of Off the Wall in 1979. The second film would cover the era of Thriller and beyond, including the height of Jackson's fame, his eccentric public persona, and the various controversies that plagued his later life. In some ways, this split may serve a dual purpose. The first half of Jackson's life is widely viewed as inspirational, full of talent, ambition, and youthful triumph. The second half is messier and more divisive. By focusing initially on the more palatable chapters of his life, Lionsgate can potentially avoid some early backlash, while buying time to finesse the more difficult material. Still, even that first film might not see the light of day in 2025. During a recent earnings call, Lionsgate executives hinted at pushing the project's release into 2026, citing a need for creative creative fine-tuning. As of now, no release date has been officially confirmed, and industry insiders suggest that late 2025 at the earliest is the best-case scenario. More realistically, Michael, in any form, won't arrive until 2026. One thing is for certain, when it does finally hit theaters, Michael is bound to stir debate. To some, Jackson remains an iconic, misunderstood genius. To others, he's a deeply flawed figure who used fame and power to escape accountability. With the film being made in close cooperation with the Jackson estate, which controls the rights to his music and image, it's safe to assume Michael will present a largely sympathetic portrait. Whether that version of events rings true will be up to audiences to decide. Until then, Michael remains one of the most anticipated and most scrutinized films in recent memory.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.